I want to talk a little bit about Trump's speech in Israel. It has raised some eyebrows among some on the right, which is really interesting to see. So President Donald Trump raised some eyebrows during a speech in Israel this week, especially as the guy who ran on an America First message. So what did he have to say? Take a look at this.
I promise and officially recognize the capital of Israel and move the American embassy to Jerusalem. Isn't that right, Miriam? Look at Miriam. She's back there. Stand up, Miriam. Stand up. Miriam and Sheldon would come into the office. They'd call me. He'd call me. I think they had more trips to the White House than anybody else I can think of. Look at her sitting there so innocently. She's got $60 billion in the bank, $60 billion. She loves this country. Her and her husband are so incredible. We miss him so dearly. But I actually asked her, I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once, I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? She refused to answer. That might mean Israel, I must say.
So that moment upset a lot of people because, again, I do think that one of the things that voters found appealing about Trump is that he ran on wanting to serve this country. What's best for America? America first. And so when you are, singing the praises of a dual citizen who he suspects is more or prioritizes Israel over our own country, and it seems like he's celebrating that, it turned a lot of people off. What's really interesting and funny, if you ask me, is back in 2015, when Trump was running in the first Republican primary for president, he had tweeted the following about Sheldon Adelson. Sheldon Adelson is looking to give big dollars to Rubio because he feels he can mold him into his perfect little puppet. I agree. And then 10 years later, you have Trump basically taking that same money. So does that mean that he sees himself as a perfect little puppet for the Adelsons? I don't know. Last election cycle, so. Miriam Adelson did give Trump huge cash infusion, $100 million in return for allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. I know Trump has said vocally that he won't let that happen, but in practice, it's already happening. They're building illegal settlements in the West Bank as we speak.
But that was the deal. She gave Trump money and she told him, I want you to annex the West Bank.
Widely reported, yeah.
Widely reported?
It is.
That's not a fact. It's widely reported I'm getting paid $7,000. That's not a fact. It's widely reported. That's how Dean Kiswani justifies it, but that's defamation.
Why? Okay, so let me ask you something. Why would Miriam Adelson give him $100 million?
First of all, Trump and Sheldon, no, they go way back, long before Trump was even into politics.
Okay,
you're aware that they're
very
good friends,
naive.
Right? If I have $60 billion and my best friend's running for president, I'll give them $100 million too.
She was a fundraiser for the Democratic Party.
Do you know anything about my history? I was one of the biggest donors and fundraisers on the Democratic side. There's not a single donor who gave out of the kindness of their heart. Not a single one. I'm talking about the top level. I'm not talking about the grassroots.
Right.
Everyone has a quid pro quo in mind. You're completely naive to think that people do this out of altruism. Like, give me a fucking break.
I don't think does that out of altruism. I agree with you.
She's so nice.
So what is other
donations are definitely for a purpose. There's no question about that. But it's saying, and I think this is really important to note, that donor believes in the politics of that politician. That's what it should always say. I'm saying in an ideal world, that's what it should say, is that donor saying, I believe in you for whatever reason, not I want this from you. In an ideal world, I totally get that. But at the same time, I think you can't question Donald Trump's America First commitment. I realize that he said that. He takes rabbit trails. We all know he has personal loyalties and friendships. But here's the deal. Peace requires partnership. And a lot of times I feel like Trump is playing 3D chess with some of the statements that he makes. We may not know exactly why. He's saying the things he says, either out of loyalty or partnership building, which has benefited all of us in ways that I think are innumerable at this point, and I think we could all probably agree to that. Or he has some reason why he's saying something. So I think to accuse Donald Trump, I just don't think it's realistic, because it's not what you say, it's what you do. And what he's done so far, and I'm hearing everyone consensus really here, is to prove that he is America First. If it came down to Israel and the United States, there's not a question in the world where President Trump would come down on that.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I don't know if I fully believe that. I mean, listen, we're in debt, and he has been bankrolling the genocide in Gaza. and putting us even deeper in debt. How is that America first?
You know, Israel started purchasing the weapons from America a long time ago.
No.
They gave it up
Don't
front,
lie to
and
me.
then Israel...
$31 billion since October 7th. We give them the
Ukraine too, but I
money,
don't hear you bitching
they
about
take the
that.
money and buy some American
Israel
weapons.
You're not okay with
Purchases
Ukraine, with the money. we
No,
send
I'm not,
Ukraine.
actually. I'm
feel
totally
I-
sick
well,
of it.
Israel purchased the weapons after Trump decided to
With
give them
our
weapons,
money,
but
Emily,
then they
you think
started
I'm
giving it back.
stupid? Why do you
question.
think we had? Why did we allocate $31 billion
Has it
to
ever
Israel?
occurred to you? Maybe
Wait, didn't you just
maybe
tell us at the
America
beginning that
needs
they couldn't
something with
afford
Israel?
$7,000? You just said that at the very top of the hour. Now you're saying they're buying weapons. You can't have
Because
both.
there's money that's
You can't have
allocated
both,
towards
okay?
war,
But
and
they
there's money
can't-
allocated towards
you
public
can't
relations.
not.
They're
You
different
can't.
bankrolls,
Okay,
as
right.
you know, as a fundraiser.
So you're
Money gets
saying
allocated.
you can't have it both ways. Okay, it's just the Israeli government. They can figure it out. They're smart. If they can't afford $7,000, as you allege, they can't afford billions of dollars of weapons.
Well, they're busy
You
buying
can't
the
have-
weapons.
That's a
you
great
can't-
point.
You
That's actually
can't
a great
have your
point.
cake and eat it too, Emily. You just can't.
There's a big
Okay.
difference in paying PR wars for influencers who already are
same
speaking in an
government.
echo chamber
Are you telling-
and buying
are you telling
war
me-
weapons
I
from
know,
the United
Emily,
States of
but
America.
earlier you said that Israel can't afford to pay influencers $7,000 per post.
Correct. It's not in
and
their
then
budget.
you ventured
It's not
to
a priority
say
to them,
that
is my
Israel
point.
has like unlimited money to buy
Netanyahu
weapons
just
on their
said
own. They
at
don't.
the conference that you attended in that room with the influencers that it's the new front. It's the new frontier. It is a priority. It's his biggest priority. That's why he took time out of his busy day to meet with you guys.
And how come
It's a
not one
huge
person in the whole
priority.
room was paid like everyone's alleging? It's widely reported that everyone in that room was paid. I could say everyone in that
Let
room
me tell you,
was there
when
for free.
I worked, by the way, I would never received a cent from the DNC. No one ever paid me. I did it because I have money myself and I have a lot of wealthy friends, okay? So I'm not a staffer. I'm not a disgruntled employee. I will tell you one thing, though. The influencers that allege on the Democratic side who say they didn't take any money from the Democratic Party, they all did. Because there were shell companies, there were agencies that the DNC funneled money through in order to give these influencers cover to say, oh, I wasn't paid, for example, I wasn't paid by Israel. I wasn't paid by the Biden campaign. Because technically on paper, they weren't. They were paid by private donors and private companies in order to say that they are actually, it's organic, it's how they actually feel. All the while they are receiving money. Do you understand?
Okay, and I have a hypothetical question. If tomorrow I got bankrolled by Israel, I got Miriam Adelson type money coming into my bank account, I am already pro-Israel. Why can't I be paid for that? If I'm pro-Saudi Arabia, I love going to Riyadh. I'm there 3 times a year, and I love it.
Are
If
you
they wanted to
registered
give
as
me
a
money,
foreign agent under
no, but
FARA?
they're paying me for a service. I work
And you
there.
should be
they're
registering
paying me.
under
That's
FARA.
fine.
But I'm not
It's fine.
lobbying. I have nothing
It's
to do with
fine if they're
lobbying.
paying you.
I'm a person who's being employed by them. Why is that a
on.
problem? Because it's Israel? Because a million other countries are doing the same
But they're
thing.
not.
Okay,
By the way,
hold on, hold
Israel
on.
was the only country that emailed me, to be honest. You're saying all the countries around the world are doing it.
Hold
Israel
on.
was the only
But
foreign
that's
nation.
you.
that's
I
ever-
can name you 35 people. It's not you that are being
As
reached
media,
out to by
I've had
other
invitations
countries.
too.
Every
Besides
country.
Israel.
I'm sorry
Okay,
they
I
reached out
have
to you.
I'm just saying.
That's you. But I know personally people, I'm not saying widely reported, I personally know people who have been reached out to by Qatar, by places like Venezuela reaching out to people to try to fix their PR problem. This is not exclusive to Israel. Now, I want to bring up the Miriam Adelson point. Israel first, Trump first. First of all, I think she's more Israeli than American. That's already a fact. She speaks like this. She's a very cute woman from Israel. It's cute. It's funny. But I don't think it's a loyalty question. You can be very much pro two things when their values align. Do you really think with or without Miriam Adelson's money, Trump's not a Zionist? Without Miriam's money, you're going to tell me you don't think
I don't think
he supports
Trump has
Israel?
strong feelings one way or the other, to be honest with you.
I disagree with you.
I don't
Trump does?
think that
I don't
America
think Trump
likes Israel.
has, like... I
Regardless
don't
of
think
money.
Trump would be doing Israel's bidding to the extent he's doing Israel's bidding if it wasn't for money in politics and it wasn't for, you know,
I absolutely
donors
agree.
like
Do you think that's
Miriam
true?
Adelson.
I absolutely agree
I mean,
with
think
that.
about
His
this.
daughter's Jewish, and a lot of his friends, a lot of his closest friends are. I think President Trump has been pro-Israel for a very long time.
Way before
I don't
he
know
was
that he's ever
president.
labeled himself as Zionist. I don't know that I've ever
Pro-Israel
heard
means
that.
you're a Zionist.
Well, not necessarily.
so.
I think a Zionist is a
I would say
distinction
that I'm
that's
staunchly
maybe a
pro-Israel.
little different from
I consider
pro-Israel.
myself
What's
to be
the definition of
staunchly
Zionism?
pro-Israel. Actually, the first love of my life is actually Jewish, and he went on Birthright and deepened my love for Israel and the Jewish community. So I love Israel. I detest the worst excesses of Zionism.
The
I
Greater
do.
Israel Project,
Exactly,
expansionism.
and the atrocities. It breaks my heart to see this happening. And another thing is, you brought up a few seconds ago that you see that the values of America and Israel. It doesn't sit well with me to conflate Israel with the Israeli government. by the way, because I think the Israeli people are beautiful.
Yeah.
They're just awesome.
Let's be clear about
it's
that.
Benjamin
Civilians
Netanyahu
are totally
specifically that I have
What
a
about
problem with.
Israelis
Can
who
I finish
support
this point, though? Can I
Netanyahu?
please just...
They're still civilians.
I
They're
have
civilians.
to finish this point, though.
It is what it is.
You were saying earlier how America's values and the United States' values coincide. I actually don't think that's true, because when prior to the peace plan, when the United States was clearly abetting the atrocities in Gaza, our enemies like Russia and China and Iran they were using our alliance with Israel against us and pointing to that and saying America is a hypocrite, America is abetting war crimes. So in that
Which
case,
country said that? Russia, China?
our adversaries
Or telling
You
us
should
we're
take,
doing
Emily,
war
you
crimes.
should take a good look at what Kyiv looks like versus
don't
what
look
Gaza
at me.
City looks
Wait,
like.
do not ridicule me. I can see that look of disdain on your face.
It's
And
hypocrisy, not
No,
disdain,
let
but
me
okay.
finish my point. They're pointing to other countries. When they try to find allies in South America, Africa, all around the world, they say, don't hang out with the United States, hang out with us. Because at least we are not abetting atrocities in Israel. At least we are not hypocrites. That's what I mean. Because they are winning the propaganda war against us. Everything is about propaganda and the war. They don't want an American-led world order. They are trying to topple us. Do you understand? They are trying to topple the American empire. And so this matters. The story around America matters.
It does.
American values matters. We cannot be seen as abetting atrocities. We cannot have the blood of 67,000 women and children on our hands.
So, okay, first of all, again, it's a war. Second of all, my thing is, when I say they coincide with values, what would you say in the entire Middle East is the closest country to the United States in terms of fair elections, allowing LGBTQ people?
It's an apartheid state. How are you going to say it's fair elections? Palestinians aren't allowed to vote. And they're not even allowed to have their own state. They're not. Benjamin Netanyahu said multiple times, I will not allow the Palestinians to have their own state.
You know why? Because they
so
elect
they're
people
stuck
like
in a
Hamas.
situation. Oh my God.
Wait, if you were Prime Minister
Oh my God.
Netanyahu,
There's
and
no
Hamas was
Hamas in the West
governing
Bank,
Gaza,
Emily. There's
the
no Hamas
PLO
in the
pay for slay.
Oh, the PLO
pay
too.
for slay
They're
matter?
Palestinians. So
Hi,
by nature
if you
of being
kill a
Palestinians,
Jew,
they
if you
shouldn't
kill a
be
Jew,
allowed.
we're giving you $10,000. Is
Talking
that a
over me is
person
not
you'd
gonna
give a
work.
state? Because you're saying the PLO, you're making it seem like the PLO are the good guys now.
Man,
when they stop funding people to kill Jews, maybe Netanyahu should negotiate with them. But until they stop raising their kids to say, hey, I know you want to go work and become an engineer, but if you kill a Jew, you'll get $10,000 per Jew.
The PLO is killing Jews in the West Bank. The PLO is on its knees.
Pay for slay.
Beyond
Google
deferential to the Israelis, doing everything they can to show we're being peaceful. Let us have our own state.
What about pay
but
for
what do
slay
they keep
is
doing?
peaceful?
What do they keep doing? They keep building
Can you
illegal
address my point?
settlements. They
What is
keep
pay for
building
slay?
illegal settlements. They keep building illegal
I heard you 3
settlements.
times. What is
yeah,
pay for
but you don't
slay?
care, right? You don't care.
What is
Let me
pay
go in
for
your
slay?
neighborhood. What are you saying?
That's what they do in the West Bank. The PLO funds people to kill Jews. Has this not been something you've been informed
Have you not
of?
seen these
Pay for slay. How about this?
You
I
live
think
in
Jews,
an alternate
I think Jews should be
universe.
allowed to live in the West Bank.
I don't.
Why
I don't.
are Jews
no,
not
I don't.
allowed?
I don't.
So you believe in apartheid
Because they
then?
keep building
When it comes to
illegal
Jews,
settlements.
what
They're
if I
stealing
build a house legally?
land,
I buy
Emily.
land.
They're stealing land.
They don't want Jews in the West
Why
Bank.
don't they let the
That's
Palestinians build
apartheid.
houses in
There's
Israel?
2.8 million Arabs in Israel
Man.
living better lives in Israel than the West Bank and Gaza combined. You just hate
Emily,
Jews. I will not.
No, I
believe
don't
that.
hate Jews.
Then why can't
I
they
don't
live in
hate
the West
Jews.
Bank?
I hate disgusting,
Why can't they live in the West
vile
Bank?
propagandists
Why can't a
who
Jew
treat
live in
human
Gaza?
beings like trash like
Why
you?
can't a Jew live in the West Bank, Anna?
No, it's f***ing pathetic.
What's up guys, Amy Dangerfield here. If you liked that video and you want to watch more like it, I need you to click over to YouTube, search up Her Take and click subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.